Namaskar and welcome to Sansad Television. I am Vishal Dahiya and you're watching our show Perspective, where we bring you detailed analysis of key national and international issues as well. Today we're going to talk about a common entrance test for central universities. Now the Common University Entrance Test, which is also known as CUET, is being introduced for admission to all undergraduate programs in all central universities from academic session 2022-23. A single examination will enable the candidates to cover a wide outreach and be part of the admissions process to various central universities as well. The CUET will be conducted in 13 languages, namely Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Urdu, Assamese, Bengali, Punjabi, Odia and English by the National Testing Agency. Now, the CUET may also be adopted by the state, private or deemed to be universities in the country. The CUET will provide a common platform and equal opportunities to candidates across the country, especially those from rural and other remote areas, and help establish better connect with the universities. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu Assembly has passed a resolution urging the central government to withdraw CUET. Today, in Perspective, we will analyze and understand all aspects of this new move and how will this actually work and function. And for more of this, we're joined by a distinguished panel. Let me first introduce them to you, beginning with Professor M. Jagdish Kumar is joining us, Chairman of the University Grants Commission. And we also have with us Professor Dinesh Prasad, Director, NCERT. Dr. Preeti Bajaj, Vice Chancellor of Galgotia University in Greater Noida, is also with us. And Professor Dr. M. Krishnan, Vice Chancellor of Central University of Tamil Nadu, is also joining us. Welcome, all of you, gentlemen, and Dr. Bajaj as well. Let me begin with you first, Professor Jagdish Kumar, and let's start by understanding the basic question. Why a common entrance test? And what is going to be the framework as far as CUET is concerned?
You see, for too long, when we talked about the school education and especially the board exams, our attention was always on the students getting high scores. I think time has come to relook at what these students should be doing when they are going through their school education. They should become learners. They should become lifelong learners. I think this focus on getting high scores in the board marks has turned away their attention from being good learners. One of the reasons why we have implemented the Common University Entrance Test is because in national education policy, there is a strong recommendation to replace these multiple entrance tests by one single entrance test for admission in undergraduate programs.
Okay.
And if you look at how the undergraduate admissions are done in central universities and in some of the top universities across the country, they are based on the board marks. And ridiculously high board scores are used as cutoff marks, 98%, 99%, in some cases even 100%. This has unduly put too much of stress in the minds of both the students as well as the parents. And if you look at across the country, there are multiple boards in our country. And as a result, there is a lot of diversity in how the students are marked by these boards. Now tell me, if I am born in a particular state and if I study in a particular board, and if I, for whatever effort I put, if I get only 80 or 82% as the top marks, and for the same effort in some other board, if a student gets 99%, then definitely this is not an equitable situation. The student, for no reason, just because they are getting lesser marks for the same effort, they will never be able to get admission in some of the best universities in the country.
Professor Jagdish Kumar, what we understand from what you're pointing out is that, one is the equal opportunity, the equitable opportunities, in case, we want to be more specific, and also uniformity in the system, that we understand. But the larger question, which everybody is trying to, make sense of, is the format and the design. How will it work, the CUET? Because as you're pointing out, it looks like, the marks scored by students in board exams will no longer be used as a benchmark for admission to central universities. It will be this particular test. So how will this test be designed, or the format?
So that is the point I'm trying to tell, that the admissions are, if the admissions are based on 12th board marks, there is a lot of variability. But however, if you use a computer-based test, and if it is a multi-choice question format, there is zero human intervention, and the marking is going to be highly objective. There will be no subjective bias while assigning the marks. Now, the CUET is a computer-based test, and it is going to be organized by the National Testing Agency. It is going to be conducted in 27 subjects, and also 13 languages, and about 20 languages where the students wish to get admission in foreign languages. And there will also be a general test. Because it's a computer-based test, and because there is no human involvement in deciding how many marks the students will get, I think it will be a good approach for us to use the CUET score for admissions in the undergraduate programs.
Okay. Let me bring in other panelists here as well, and I'll start with Professor Dinesh Prasad, since we're talking about the format and the design here as well. Professor Prasad, from your point of view, how better can we come up with a CUET, as Professor Jagdish Kumar is also pointing out, because it's going to be really important, and this will then set a benchmark to be followed, as this can be taken up by the state universities, the private universities, and deemed to be universities as well.
Yeah, it is, I think that this is the best opportunity we can provide. As far as the format is concerned, it's already pointed out that there will be multiple choice questions, and the questions will be based on the syllabus. So there is no matter that whatever score they have scored in board exams, because assessment is a problem in board exams. That is the main thing. Two of the boards are very conservative while marking, and they give very less marks. Whereas the student is actually, he deserves or she deserves much more than that. So there is a question of equal opportunity as well as the real opportunity. This is going to provide one more opportunity, which will be giving them the fair assessment, and on the basis of fair assessment, they will find a place in the university where they deserve to be and where they should be. So this will also discourage the coaching. As far as the coaching centers are concerned, they are after where there are no choice, because we are giving plenty of choice in questions. There are choices in the questions. So there is not a compulsory. All questions are not compulsory. There is a fair chance of giving choice, so they can attend the questions which they are knowing. So this is the matter where we think that this will be a benchmark for the further course of admission, fair admission, as per the competency.
Professor Prasad, we'll move on to Professor Krishnan here as well, since he's the Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Central University, and we're talking about CUET for all central universities here. Professor Krishnan, from your point of view, and how do you look at this move of putting in place centralized structure or a centralized system when we're talking about admission to central universities? And also, let's not forget that the state of Tamil Nadu is not in league with this particular decision. In fact, the Tamil Nadu Assembly has passed a resolution as well.
Yeah. Number one, the central entrance test is not a new one for central universities.
Okay.
The 9 universities started in 2009. We started already common entrance test for the last 5 years. But today question is, whether we can conduct the common entrance test for the UG program. That is the first one. We have to get the clarification from our chairman UGC, number one. Number two, if we are having common entrance tests, like what we are going to have for the central universities, and whenever possible, the other colleges and the university also can join or take the rank list to admit the students in different colleges. I think when you are having such a common entrance test, like NIT, IIT, and also the IIM, where they are having the common entrance test, where the diversity of students can spread over all over the country, where it's giving a clear situation for the students to mingle and bring out the different culture and study in a particular university.
Okay.
That we are looking for.
Okay. Dr. Bajaj, I'd like to bring you in here, because you're the Vice Chancellor of a private university, Galgotia University here in Greater Noida. Now, the question I want to ask is, from the sidelines, because this is being introduced for the central universities as of now, what's your view as an observer in terms of putting in place such a mechanism? And as a private university, would you be interested in being a part of this?
Wherein I'm strong advocate of NEP 2020 and working very hard for that, and part of that, integral part of that. I just have, and I believe in reducing this discrepancy and then bringing a uniformity for the admission process. I'm for that, but I have few concerns. I have gone to the YouTube video which has been given, and the other day there was a demonstration by the DU team as well. But I have few small concerns which I feel would be appropriate. One, although we said CBT based, still I have seen the many senior students as well while delivering for PhD. The simple test for PhD entrance examination, they cannot appear, they are not conversant with. When we are trying to reach out to the villages and everywhere, how the students would be habitual of, and they will be perfect and they will be giving and appearing in this exam. That is what first of my personal concern, I would say.
Okay.
The second is, when we are claiming that it's a multi-choice, so until unless it is a negative marking is being done, till that time we cannot say that's a really fair system, because that's then again true extraction of knowledge will not be there. It's just, I have just appeared and then whatever score I get.
Okay.
And third of my concern would be that undergraduate students are not that matured. Many a times that's a peer perception, peer pressure, wherein they will be appearing in one subject. What I understood from the video which I have seen and the session I have attended, that once they have chosen some subjects, they cannot change their subject and they have to abide to those programs only, and they have to take admission into that program.
Okay.
That would be somewhat challenging, because student, when he has open choices, many a times he cannot get in the dream institution of his own choice. In that case, he shift and switch over to the other, wherein because the options are open. But here we are having a binding on him that he has to choose because he has appeared in a particular subject for the entrance exam, he has to choose amongst those programs only and those institutions. That's three of my concern. Although the proposal and the scheme, and as we are moving towards NEP, that has to be done. So these concerns can be considered. That's it.
Okay.
That's my personal. Of course, if this being launched with addressing all these concerns, every university would like to be part of that, because that is giving a common platform to each and every one.
Okay.
Next and last but not the least, when we have released that into 13 local languages, which is, I would say, reaching local. I would put in this terminology. So we are trying to reach out to the local. Probably we have to go more into more number of languages to reach out to each and every state and the region as well.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Okay, Dr. Bajaj, fair enough, and you've raised some valid points out there. Fortunately enough, we have with us none other than the UGC chairman himself sitting here. I'll straight away, direct those concerns to you, Professor Kumar. If you could address those three of them and to, summarize it. One is how do you plan to go ahead and ensure that the computer-based testing system does not, end up being detrimental to certain part or certain section of students, specifically in rural areas? Second, of course, the negative marking, as Dr. Bajaj is pointing out too. And third, and the most important, the design itself, wherein, if a student has appeared for a test and wants to go ahead and change later on, is there a mechanism there, or are we thinking of such a mechanism?
First of all, the computer-based test doesn't require the knowledge of using the computer, because all that the student needs to do is use the mouse and choose the correct answer on the screen.
Okay.
And you see, if you look at the broadband users in our country, they are nearly about 800 million, and many of them are young people. So let us not underestimate our students who are coming from the rural background, that they may find it difficult. They are much smarter than what we think about them.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to introduce granularity, in order to avoid bunching of students at every mark, definitely there will be negative marking in the CUET. We have already announced that. If you go to the NTA website, the details are there. Negative marking will be there.
Okay.
And the third part, you see the student can choose up to 6 choices. And that will give the student the opportunity to apply to multiple universities. There is no limit on the number of universities to which the student can apply. And there is also a general test that the student can give. Now, many universities, instead of taking the CUET scores in the related subject, they use the general test. For example, in the undergraduate programs, the language programs, BA in different foreign languages in JNU,
okay,
we don't conduct the test in specific languages. We select them based on the CUET. So we believe that giving a choice of 6 subjects and also 1 language subject, and then 1 general test, and then 1 foreign language test, this itself is too much of choice to the student. I think let's not overburden the student by giving 20 or 30 choices.
Okay.
The given choices themselves are good enough for the student to choose an appropriate discipline, choose an appropriate university, and join there.
Okay. To further clarify on this aspect, Professor Kumar, you're talking about 6 subjects in which a student can appear, a language test and a general test as well. So those 6 subjects, do they necessarily have to be those subjects which the student has studied in the 12th class, or it can be other subjects as well?
You see, the students, they beforehand decide where they want to join. They might have picked up 3-4 universities where they want to join. They might have picked up a few disciplines where they want to join. So all along, we have been advising the students that if you have decided to join in some universities, visit the websites of those universities and look at the admission requirements. And just as in the program that we arranged using DU as an example, DU has given a certain combination of subjects to join in certain disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, some other universities may define, based on their admission policy, a certain combination of subjects. So depending on these admission requirements, the student has to choose the domain subjects and the language subjects.
Okay. Okay. And one more, clarification which Professor Krishnan was making earlier in his comment, that is about it is as of now limited to the undergraduate programs. That's what we are going in for. As far as postgraduate programs is concerned, is there a plan, or is there some other format or platform which the UGC is working on? Professor Kumar?
Please, sir.
Professor
Chairman,
Kumar?
sir.
Yeah.
Let me answer about the postgraduate programs. In many of the central universities, they have largely postgraduate programs, including JNU. JNU has only BA languages. Only recently they started BTech program. So NTA is going to conduct the entrance test for the postgraduate programs also. The undergraduate programs have become, a point of discussion across the country, because that is where large number of students apply for the undergraduate admissions. If you put together the total number of seats in all the 45 central universities, that is about 1.2 lakhs. And then there are several private universities deemed to be universities and some top state universities. They are also joining CUET. And if you put together all these, the number of seats in the undergraduate programs will cross few lakhs. And that's the reason why we are focusing more on undergraduate program admissions.
Okay.
I have also been discussing with the vice chancellors of several states, the state-funded universities. And let me tell you that overwhelmingly, there is a huge support for adopting CUET for the undergraduate programs.
Okay.
We believe that in this year, while it is compulsory for the central universities and many private and state universities deemed to be universities are also joining, over a period of time, we believe that the large number of universities in our country will ultimately adopt CUET,
Okay.
because that provides a level playing ground
Indeed.
to the students across the country.
Okay, indeed. I hope that clarifies all the concerns which have been raised by Professor Krishnan and Dr. Bajaj as well. There, quick last concluding comments from you, Professor Krishnan. If I'd like to take in your views on how, as a central university, you were earlier talking about how it is going to further foster the idea of sort of a cultural unity as well, because students from across the country will have the choices open to them through a single platform to go ahead and take admission in the universities of their choice.
Yeah, actually, with the permission of our chairman UGC, we can say that now in the Central University of Tamil Nadu, we have the students from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Not only the students, the teachers are also available from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. We have 2,500 students in the campus. You know that Thiruvarur, it's at a corner part of Tamil Nadu near Nagapattinam, where is the rural area, and it's available in the Delta region. What I feel that these people coming from the different state, coming together in a particular place, a village-oriented local situation, they can mix with the people nearby living, because as higher education educator, wanted that the higher education not only learning process, it also take the excellence from the higher education
Indeed.
and give the product to that society. That's a way our central university, with having the different culture, coming together with the diversity, where they are mingled with the people living in the near, villages, where they can learn something from the people, not only the students, but also the teachers.
Indeed.
They are happily living here and they are learning a lot of things, from that students and teachers. Second thing, the teachers from that Kashmir to Kanyakumari, or students from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, they can learn that what is said, indigenous knowledge in this area. They can take the knowledge, because now that government of India is taking the new steps. We have to have the education with the culture, indigenous culture.
Indeed.
That's the way. Thiruvarur, it's a very good place for the people from different parts of the state.
Indeed, Professor Krishnan, you're right there, and this stands true for all other central universities as well. Wherever, whichever state they are situated in, this format is going to benefit the students there also. I'd like to thank all of you. Thank you so much, Professor Krishnan, Dr. Bajaj as well, and Professor Prasad, and of course Professor M. Jagdish Kumar for explaining and responding to the concerns there of other panelists as well, as our experts and panelists were referring to and pointing out the significance and the importance of a central exam for the central universities across the country, which of course is going to be open to the state-funded universities, the private universities, and the deemed to be universities as well. The idea is to ensure that students across the country have an equitable opportunity to go ahead and explore their options and find the best suitable course college and the university as well as far as undergraduate courses are concerned. We'll come back again tomorrow with a different topic. Till then, keep watching Sansad Television. Thank you.